Covering and dressing have been one of man's basic needs since the first day he stepped into the world. This need arose from the desire to protect ourselves from the elements and, over time, has become a social, cultural, and religious symbol. The concept of clothing has evolved and changed over thousands of years to become what it is today. People wrapped themselves in animal skins to protect themselves from the cold, used thin fabrics to protect themselves from the heat, and made metal armor to survive in war. However, clothing was not limited to protecting against the elements or gaining superiority in wars, but was also shaped by beliefs and became part of religious cultures. The ancient Sumerians developed their social structure and belief system from the earliest years of civilization. Sumerian society was divided into 5 main groups: kings and priests, soldiers, craftsmen, and slaves. Clothing was used as a symbol of social status, and the dress of the elite was protected by strict rules. Among the elite, married women and women of high status protected their prestige by covering their heads with special headscarves or shawls. This practice of veiling was also a special right granted to high-ranking soldiers. However, the general public, especially slaves, were forbidden to imitate the dress of the elite, and those who broke this rule were severely punished. In Babylonian civilization, too, veiling was protected by strict rules indicating social status. Married and widowed women were obliged to cover their heads, but slaves and prostitutes were denied this right. In ancient Greece, temples were transformed into places where sexual services were performed under the guise of religious rituals. This corruption led to the temples making huge sums of money. In Judaism, veiling is governed by the rules of the Torah. Women, especially married women, had to cover their heads. Practices such as prostitution in the Holy Temple were forbidden in Judaism, and such acts were considered abominable. Veiling continued as a symbol of social status, but strict forms of face covering became a symbol of conservative sex fulfilling religious obligations. Example from the Torah: "And Rebekah lifted her eyes and saw Isaac. He got off the camel and said to his servant, 'Who is that man walking in the field?' The servant answered, 'My master.' Then Rebekah took her mantle and covered herself." Genesis 24:64-65. In Roman times, veiling also determined social status. Noble Roman women wore garments such as the stola and palla, which symbolized that they were married and from a good family. Christianity included rules about veiling in the Bible and introduced strict dress codes for women. These rules became even stricter as Christianity spread throughout the Roman Empire and became an absolute control of women's clothing. Example from the Bible: "If women pray or prophesy without a veil, they put their heads to shame, for an uncovered woman is equal to a shaved head." 1 Corinthians 11:5. In pre-Islamic Arab society, veiling was used as a symbol of social status. With the advent of Islam, veiling became a religious obligation and was used to maintain social order. There are verses in the Holy Quran about women's veiling, and these verses have determined the way women dress in Muslim societies. However, in pre-Islamic Arab culture, practices such as sexually degenerate pagan rituals and different types of marriage, especially around the Kaaba, were banned with the birth of Islam, and veiling became important as a religious obligation. Example from the Quran: "Prophet, tell your wives and daughters and the women of the believers to cover themselves with their outer garments, jilbab. This is the most favorable for them so that they may not be recognized and hurt." Surah Ahzab 33:59. Covering and dressing have been shaped by social status, religious beliefs, and cultural norms in different civilizations throughout history and have survived to the present day. This historical process has led to the transformation of the veil from a simple means of protection to a symbol with deeper meanings.